Alrighty, Temple of Sethrallis. Playing some Ret Paladin. Should be fun. Playing a build that most people are going to look at me and go, what the hell are you doing? That's right, I'm running Crusade, which is always good. But I'm also playing where Crusader Strike actually does damage and stacks up a buff. And it's pretty crazy, I'm not going to lie. It does a lot more damage than I thought it would. Alright, come on, tank. Don't stop. Don't stop. I got stacks. Let's go. Come on. Oh, my Crusade's gone. Alright. So what happens is I get a Zeal buff. Everything I do kind of hits like a truck. My Crusader Strike also gives me haste right now. I'm just kind of all in on the idea of buffing Crusader Strike at the moment. I have been put to sleep. Hopefully I get cleansed. Maybe I'll get cleansed. I didn't get cleansed. We're going to throw a Judgment out there. 14k there from that, because we were playing with Divine Judgment. A little awkward to play Divine Judgment, honestly. It's interesting. Why? What are you doing? No, don't go that way. Go down the stairs. Come on. There you go. That's a good tank. So we're just going to get our Divine Judgment up as high as we can here. I'm actually holding Judgment, which is something you're probably not supposed to do. But we're going to try, because I want to see how hard it'll hit when I get up to that absurd number of stacks. There we go. A little more damage out there, and Judgment. 21k Judgment. Alright. So on heavy AoE, that's going to be incredible. Get a stun out there for that guy. So there's a huge variance there in what we're gonna get out of it damage-wise. Okay. Are you pulling that? Okay. That was a 45,000 crit on Judgment. 45,000. That was pretty cool. So I've got an extra 360 haste, which puts me up to like 15% haste, and that buff falls off here. I'm down to 9. And I've been put to sleep again, and no one can cleanse it but me or the tank. Oh, that's frustrating. So cleansing poison in this dungeon is actually really important. I'm gonna run this on Mythic Plus. It's gonna be super interesting, I'm sure. So I've been affected with this conduction. Just gotta run out of the group with that. Not too difficult. Get a crusade going. Alright, so got our 10 stacks of Crusade. Trying to do as much damage as we can here to this guy. Sitting here waiting for more to happen. Okay. So for those that care about damage, I was sitting at about, let's see, it says 70k. Crusader Strike was about 20% of my damage. Did more damage for me than Judgment. And granted, I did hold Judgment occasionally. Or did I? I'm actually not too sure now that I think about it. Don't stand near the walls. Alright, so whenever I use that ability there, I get a strength buff. Because of one of my Azerite traits. So that's why I'm popping that earlier. Okay, so we're gonna get in here, gonna pop Vengeance. $57k crit, look at that. That was disgusting. Really glad it didn't get dodged when I had all that up there. Okay, refresh that strength buff. Refresh the strength. He's not moving them out of the thing there that causes everything to, you know, be all goofy. Is this out of it? Nope, still in it. 22k. Yeah, he's not moving it out of the stuff on the ground. There we go. Yeah, if they're in the clouds, they're in the sand clouds there. It just makes it impossible to DPS them. It's not fun. These snakes have like no HP, so they should definitely be your priority target. And then it's getting these guys out of the way is just kind of a thing you can do. Okay, this guy's not stunnable, probably because he's mounted. I think we're just, yeah, we were just basically fighting his mount there, it looks like. Yes, that's Crusader Strike, is my top damage right now. And that is bizarre, because currently on live, that is never the case. I'm gonna help the healer out there, he's a little behind. Did I get cleaved there? Is that what happened? I think I got cleaved there. So we haven't had a bunch of tuning passes yet, but I feel like Ret Paladin is probably sitting about where it's going to be. My stats are as follows here. I've got about 18% crit, about 10% haste, about 5 verse, about 25 mastery. So, you know, right down the very simple, you know, just balanced line of things. I'm not doing anything too crazy stat-wise. Not really stacking any particular stat, because trying to find specific gear right now is an absolute nightmare. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, but for the most part, it's just that I don't feel like grinding gear on characters that, you know, won't exist in less than 50 days at the time of recording, so. I'm just kind of going to test them as is, and just take note of what gear I had, and all of that. Now, these guys here, these tenders, the most important thing to interrupt is this greater healing potion. They're going to go ahead and drain the eggs. You really can't do anything about that besides stun them, unfortunately. Which, if you stun them mid-cast, it prevents them from healing to full. They also get a buff whenever they drain those, so if you have a mage, you can spell steal a 30% damage buff, which is pretty incredible. Templar's Verdict, when it crits. Such a big bit of damage. Oh, there's another mob. Stun him. Yeah, Templar's Verdict when it hits. Real hard. Like that, when it gets a good crit. Feels really good, really impactful. I feel like whenever I smash the button really hard, that happens, and it just destroys things. These guys will continually heal each other. So you basically have to go kind of all in on it and just hope you can hit them hard enough that you can get one down. Stun that guy. Try to get a Divine Storm off here. There we go, get my buff back up. Oh, it didn't get my buff back up. What the hell? There appears to be some sort of a zone on the ground over here. Or there was, anyway. Whenever you kill all those mobs, the boss does... Wow, they really shrunk him. He was significantly bigger before. Looks like they shrunk him a bit. So Noxious Breath just puts a bunch of stuff on the ground. Then you get Knot of Snakes, which you have to break off. And you're supposed to be watching out for the snake as he tunnels along the edge here. A little difficult to see because that's not the same color. Comes back in here. He's going to do a Blinding Sand ability soon. There it is. You got to turn away. Don't get that sand in your eyes. And you're going to get somebody in a knot of snakes. You want to help them out if you can. Because they are unable to do anything while they're in that. He burrows again at a percentage HP. When the snakes come out, they are in a sand cloud. So you've got to make sure that you don't tank them in it. Another knot of snakes. Break that out. Now, those dust clouds do linger for a bit, so you want to make sure that they don't end up on the boss. And you basically have to kite these snakes, because if you don't, they're just in a cloud and you can't damage them. We're going to get a Blinding Sand again. Noxious Breath is first, apparently. There's a knot of snakes. We'll go help with that. Blinding Sand, look away. I pulled aggro there because I think the tank actually got hit by that. Let's help them out of this knot of snakes. They're kind of stuck there. There we go.
Make haste. I sense a growing darkness.
It's a fun boss. There's a lot going on there. So that boss fight there, I had multiple targets. I only ended up getting to 4.7k DPS on that one. There's a lot of downtime on it, though. So it's not too surprising. But still top damage, though. Tank says, I'm bugged, got a log, but someone pulled more anyway. Alright, I guess I'm tanking while he does that. Pop Shield of Vengeance there so I wouldn't die. I'm gonna try to interrupt whatever I can. Okay. It's always fun whenever you get to, you know, take care of something for your group. Let's go ahead and get ourselves food buff here, since we're gonna have to probably wait a second for our tank to return. Okay, he's back and moving. Good. I'm actually using an int flask, which is problematic. So this here is the hardest part of the dungeon. You have to avoid getting hit, and most people have trouble with that because they don't see the pattern, but as you can see, I got through it while I was talking, so it's not too bad. You have to pay attention, you have to time it right. Obviously, server lag is going to make it a lot harder for some people, and then some people just run face first into mechanics instead. So, you know, it all comes down to, can you pay attention there, and are you lagging super hard? If you're lagging super hard, it's going to be near impossible to get through here. There's no way around it. Move speed sometimes doesn't help, actually makes it worse. You can kind of go through the center there, and just find your time and you go through, like that revolving door at the hotels, or hospitals, or, you know, wherever you hang out on your weekends. Hopefully not hospitals, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Seeing those big judgment crits in there, they're really fun to do. Should be focusing these guys first. I was on the wrong target, though. Get rid of this guy first. He's more dangerous. Good lord. They have a lot of HP. So we've got a 1 BM and 1 Marks Hunter right now. Nice to see both specs being played. I'm playing Ret Pally just because I really wanted to see what it could do in a standard heroic. This is Heroic Temple of Sethrallis. 320 item level? So this is kind of entry level into heroics. My neck piece is at 13 traits, which is honestly pretty low. My other character that I just got up to max level is sitting at, I believe it's 14 or 15 at this point. And I have almost no time played on it. It's under 300 item level. So at the time you get in here, you'll be able to equip more Azurite traits. And the higher you go up in gear, the better those Azurite traits do get. I'll go over the ones that I'm using here once we're finished with the run. Or if we have to wait down here at the next set of revolving doors. Spoiler alert. Alright, so this boss here is one of those fights that Pugs are probably going to have some difficulty with in Mythic Plus. Maybe even Heroic, we'll see, but you have to soak a beam heading to this boss. If you don't soak it, it's a problem. I got a bunch of haste here. I wish we had heroism to use. That would be super. Now, I inadvertently soaked a full 10 stack there, which, whether or not I should have is, you know, it's anybody's, you know, guess right there. But I had the opportunity to, so I did. Now, if this boss gets a ton of stacks and then does that release, I think it's like Dissipate Charge or whatever that ability is. It ends up being pretty problematic. And you definitely have got to soak this. Yeah, Consume Charge. He deals a bunch of damage based on how many stacks he got. So your group's supposed to make sure that you don't get a ton. It looks like they're just ignoring the mechanic here. And if he gets too much, he can one-shot you. So no loot there. We'll likely get... Oh boy. Alright. So this one here, you've got the walls coming from the other side here. Oh, I got clipped. Thank you. You have walls coming from each side. There's a wall behind us now for some... Why is there a wall behind us going that direction? Blizzard, that's really not cool, man. That's really not fun. That is not fun gameplay. Okay. We'll just try to zoom through. Alright, so zooming through that one worked. This is by far one of the most frustrating portions of this dungeon. With larger character models, it's going to be very annoying if you get clipped, because you might not think you're in range, but you're going to get clipped anyway. In the event that happens, you know, I think gnomes win, which is something I've never said, ever, on this channel. I don't think I've ever actually said that before. Ugh, gnomes. Gnomes are those things you kick into canyons, right? Wait, did we all get through? Oh my god, we all got through. I don't have time to go over my, my Azerite traits. That's incredible. Alright, so here you've got a big skull in the back of the room, and you've got 2 Serpent's Eye gems. And you have to go ahead and place them up in that skull to open up the door. This is similar to Blackrock Depths, where you had to find and light 2 braziers, or someone will tell me I butchered that word, and that's fine. I did. Alright, so here is the gem. Eye of Sethrallis. We're going to pull those for the tank, because he's not pulling very big, and he can pull massive in here. These mobs don't hit for anything. Should probably have my loot spec in ret. It's probably... Why? Tank, you don't want that, dude. Yep, tank probably you're not supposed to... There he is. So, there's these guys, these Orb Guardians, they show up, they steal your ball, beat them up, take the ball back. Why did you knock it this way? Alright, so I'm going to pick this up and show you what you do here. Okay, so, what you do is you get yourself set up, get a nice line of sight, and you chuck it across the room. Then you pick it up again, and you chuck it across the room. Then you come up here, and there's a guy sleeping right here. Now, we're probably going to hit that Orb Guardian. We did, so we're going to stun him. Oh. Alright, so we have that eye in. Next eye. Let's go. Come on. Let's not be, you know, whiny and terrible. Let's just move ahead. Just forge it all up. I'm just going to run in here. I'm going to pop this. Grab all of them. Because you can totally do this. And this is how you should handle this room. Just grab them all. AoE like crazy. You know, you have the ability to do this AoE damage. Just do it. You know, don't hinder your group and take forever because you don't have the time here. The longer you take to get these in there, the longer you're in combat, the less mana your healer has, the worse off it is. So we're going to take this, throw it, pick it up, throw it. He got in my way. There we go. We have an open door. And that's how you get through that room quickly. There's people that are going to say, oh, you should always have a monk, or you should always have a warlock. You don't need any of that. You can get through it with anything. You've just got to, you know, play smart and not be silly about it. Sorry for showing you the inside of the skull the way I just did there. Kind of annoying to be that far zoomed out, because you kind of see everything. You want to kind of shift through as quickly as possible, just because those ads infinitely respawn. They actually come back even if you clear the room. Also, just like Black Rock Depths. The dangerous mob in this pool here is the Guardian. If you are melee DPS, or any DPS really, don't be in front of him whenever he does this big drawback. Because what he's going to do is he's going to do a big frontal slash, and if you eat that, it's going to hurt. Cool story, as a tank, you can actually completely avoid it just by moving out of the way. We're going to see who gets hit by it, or if he even does it. He may not do it here. And that is a shame, because on the boss fight, that is a mechanic. So if these mobs aren't doing that here, it's going to be hard to teach people how to do it beforehand. Which, by the way, is how trash works in this game for people who didn't know. You can actually leave them completely out of combat as well. Kick that chain lightning, that's dangerous. Stun the Plague Doctor. Now, while the Guardian is the most dangerous, he's also, in my opinion, the least threatening to the group. You know, most of his damage is avoidable. He does hit pretty hard, but your tank shouldn't be a paper bag, so you should be alright. Now, you can see the Hunter's pet wandering around up next to him while you're polymorphed or pacified. Apparently, it pacifies your pet as well. Not sure if that's new or not. I would really like to see that not happen. I think your pet, you know, should be able to think a little bit on its own. If you say, hey, kill that target, then you suddenly get turned into a snake. I don't think you've stopped yelling at it, you know, or you told it to stop. So I don't see why it stops doing it. Maybe that's a PvP thing. I don't know. I don't think it is. This last fight here is very unique in that it's a heal fight, kind of like Valithria Dreamwalker from ICC. You heal the boss while you're DPSing stuff around the boss. First time we've seen that since Lich King, actually, I believe. I don't think we've had another boss where you actually heal something. So we'll see how this group decides to handle it. Sometimes they ask another person to go heals. They just decide to start without anything, so hopefully it'll be alright. We do have this Guardian here. This is the ad you want to focus right away. He will kill your tank pretty quick. So you want to blow him up while you're dealing with everything else, because the Plague Doctors can just be interrupted quickly. Energy Fragment. Alright, so you want to click those right away, because they will heal up your group. And the healer is supposed to heal it up. Right now, it's got 3 stacks of Tainted. So healing the boss right now is pointless, because with this debuff on the boss at 3 stacks, it takes 90% reduced. At this point, it's 60%. So you just want to go ahead and you want to melt these ads as quick as you can. I've already popped Crusade, so I don't have anything else to help with. So heals are fully effective here. So this is where, as a Paladin, you want to LOH that real quick. There are Plague Toads. They are nasty. As a DPS, if you can heal, you want to throw a heal up there at the Avatar, just to help. It does do a ton of healing. We've got that going after our healer. I'm going to try to pull it away from him. There we go, tank picked it up. I'm going to stand in this just to proc my shield, hopefully. There's not enough. Oh, I've overcapped on Holy Power. I can hear the comments now. Now, normally you would be all together here, you know, killing these simultaneously. I'm just kind of killing that one on my own because the group appears to be kind of spread out. And I'm pretty self-sustainable here. We have a Hexer up. Now, we do have our boss up here now. We also have a Plague Doctor, which is dangerous. We want to kill that. We got multiple Plague Doctors, bunch of Hexers. Guardian is up. That's dangerous. Kill the Guardian here. Ideally, you want to have all this stacked as a tank whenever you can, just to, you know, get the cleave on there. Always hit those orbs right away to energize the Guardian. Got Crusade back up, so let's crush this. One more ad. Let's go. And it's dead. So here we just top off the heal, or the avatar. That should be the encounter. And there we go. Temple of Sethrallis, done. So there we go. We finished the dungeon. See if we get any loot here. I have actually not gotten loot. Quite a few of these that I've run recently. I am currently stuck in combat. So I'm going to run up the stairs. It looks like they both got loot. If there is any loot for me, it'll be sent to me in my mail, since I couldn't loot the box. Appears as though I do have some mail. It's probably just Azerite power. I don't think I got any loot out of the dungeon, which is surprising. Yep, it was 75 Azerite, which now is added to my weapon. Or my, not my weapon. My neck piece. Okay, so, going through what I was using for Azerite traits, because this is actually what chose the talents I was using. So here in the helmet that I have, this is one I got on for World Quest, Nismani Golem's Great Helm. It was random 315 Warforge. So we have Divine Right. When Divine Storm damages an enemy who is below 20% health, your strength is increased by 256 for 10 seconds. To put that in perspective, I've got about 3,700 strength right now, so it's not a huge amount, but it is just a little buff for using Divine Storm. Could probably scale up a little bit, but it's also super easy to maintain on AoE packs, so it's actually pretty useful. Gallant Steed. Inspire yourself and nearby allies while Divine Steed is active, granting 341 speed for 5 seconds. Divine Steed's cooldown is reduced to 40 seconds. This is an absolutely great passive, because in Mythic Plus this will get you basically a group sprint, which is crazy, as well as just having the, you know, just the extra cooldown reduction on your movement. And of course the center here is always just 5 item levels, so it went from 315 to 320. Looking at the shoulder, this is a mythic piece that I got out of, I believe it was out of Freehold. Let me see here. Yes, it was out of Freehold, so I have that one there. So the only trait I have in this at the moment, because of my Azerite level on my neck piece, is Zealotry. This is what pushed me towards trying Crusader Strike-centric build, which on live right now would be completely insane because it hits like a wet noodle. But casting Crusader Strike increases the damage of your Crusader Strike by 164 for 20 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So if you can do basic math, that's 1,640-ish extra damage on every single Crusader Strike. That's a 20-second buff. You're definitely going to use Crusader Strike at least once every 20 seconds. So this is literally just a free extra bit of damage on your Crusader Strike. Now, baseline, it does 3589 physical. This does not scale with your mastery, unfortunately. But this does just add extra damage. So this is, you know, good, free, and simple. This is actually a really awesome Azerite trait. And definitely one you should probably look for if you want to play a build that focuses around buffing Crusader Strike, which I feel is a really good idea with the way haste scales. So in here, the last one that I'm using here, this is Breastplate of the Vengeful. This came out of, I believe, Waycrest Manor. Yeah, it came out of Drustvar at the very least. So I picked Relentless Inquisitor. Spending Holy Power grants you 18 haste for 10 seconds per Holy Power spent, stacking up to 20 times. 18 times 20, I don't feel like doing math, but more than 350, less than 200. Wait, 350, 200. I can't do math. So 18 haste, stacking up to 20 times. So, yeah, you're looking at between 350 and 400 extra haste just for doing your standard rotation. If you're chain pooling, you're looking at a constant good extra bit of haste, which for Ret is super, super strong and super good. I picked Vampiric Speed for the second row here, which is when an enemy you harmed dies, you heal and gain speed. I figure when in doubt, move quicker, hit harder, right? So looking at the talents that I picked, I went with Zeal. Judgment empowers you with Holy Zeal, causing your next 3 auto attacks to occur 50% faster and deal extra holy damage. This does scale with Mastery. Probably should have taken Righteous Verdict. It probably would have been the way to go, but I went with Zeal just to try it out. Felt pretty good. My auto attack damage was a little bit higher just because I had more of those going on. It doesn't play well with Divine Judgment, though, because Zeal goes with Divine Judgment about as good as oil with water. So would definitely swap Zeal over to Righteous Verdict if I was going to run Divine Judgment. So here I picked Fires of Justice, reduces the CD of Crusader Strike by 15%, and grants it a 15% chance to make your next ability consume 1 less holy power. This is super, super strong with the setup I have where I'm focusing primarily on Crusader Strike. And it just makes it that, you know, you get a little bit extra out of your holy power, which makes keeping up the other buff from the Azerite armor even easier. Fist of Justice, just for the holy power reduction on Hammer of Justice, as you saw it was up very, very often. Divine Judgment was good. I would honestly probably just go back to Wake of Ashes, just for the on-demand extra holy power. If we were pulling much bigger, this would have been better. Cavalier just for the extra charges of Divine Steed because of that Divine Steed trait that I had there. Word of Glory just to help out the healer. Only used it once or twice. This is probably the least used row. And then I took Crusade. Looking back on it at this point, I'd probably take Divine Purpose, just because I would be running Righteous Verdict, and Righteous Verdict and Divine Purpose go together incredibly well. So that's been Ret Paladin. I was just there in... oh god, what dungeon? Yeah, Temple of Sethrallis. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy Ret Paladin quite a bit. Expect to see me playing it a little bit on live, because I know I'm probably playing Holy Paladin for Mythic Plus, at least on one of my groups, so you'll definitely see a good bit of my Paladin here after the expansion launches. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Toss me a sub if you enjoyed everything you saw here today, and if you want to see more. Like the video if you liked it. And I will catch you next time in the next video.